Imagine, a podcast series by Imagine Theatre.
Hello again, I hope you're well. I'm Martin Ballard, welcoming you to episode 36 of this podcast series from one of the biggest producers of pantomime and children's theatre in the UK.
For more information, go to their website at www.imaginetheatre.co.uk.
As ever, I hope you've been listening to our previous episodes. A quick reminder that if you have missed any of my conversations with creatives, actors or behind-the-scenes tours at Imagine Theatre, you can catch up with them all because they are all still available. And don't forget to subscribe to the series so that you don't miss out in the future. In episode 35, we spoke to the Imagine Theatre marketing team as the momentum builds for the 2022-23 panto season. This time, I've been joined by two familiar faces from some of the most popular programmes on television, including Britain's Got Talent, Love Island, I'm a Celebrity and Strictly Come Dancing. They're starring in Cinderella for Imagine Theatre at the Montfort Hall in Leicester this Christmas. It is, of course, the popular dancing brothers from Stoke-on-Trent, AJ and Curtis Pritchard. How are you, boys?
Very well, thank you. And yourself? I love the introduction.
I know,
I feel big myself up, man.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a long day of taking a lot of photos today, so my brain is a little bit tired and fatigued, but apart from that, I'm good.
It's always more entertaining then, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us a bit about panto and why you love panto, first of all, AJ.
I think pantomime is something that embodies the family spirit, and I feel like it's something that you don't have to ask somebody, do you want to come along to panto? You're gonna do you like it? It's like, no, you're coming to panto. Yeah. You're going to enjoy it, whatever age you are, whatever part of the family you are. It's just like, this is the one thing that I feel like panto should be. You have a birthday every single year. You go to pantomime every single year. It's just a thing that should be in people's like mentality. It's brilliant, honestly.
Is it something you boys did as kids? Did you go to panto?
No, it isn't something we were massively into as kids. We went to panto and we knew of panto. I think our first one was Stoke-on-Trent and I think it was Jack and the Beanstalk what we went to. But for me, panto, it's that first introduction to theatre for a lot of young people. Yeah. And that's what I love about panto, because you sort of go through every emotion, from crying, from laughter, the kids being scared of the evil villain or the ugly sisters. And that's what I love about panto. You go through all these emotions, your kid's first interaction to panto, and that could be their future. It opens their eyes to a whole new world of entertainment. And I just love performing in front of a live audience, to be truthful. Yeah.
When was the first time that you performed? Because you're both dancers. Your parents run a dance school in Stoke-on-Trent. Do you remember the first time you performed, AJ?
We were always around dance. Obviously, parents at dance school and Dad used to compete all over the world. So we always were there stealing his money in the arcades at the Winter Gardens and the Tower Ballroom. But it was at the age of 11 and 12 when we had the opportunity. Well, I said, I want to go on TV. And Mum said, well, okay, what are you going to do? And then a pilot show came along to the dance school and it was like, okay, we need some little dancers. I was like, well, I'll learn how to dance. I'll go on TV. Did absolutely awful.
And he's still learning how to dance.
Yeah, still learning. Never ending. Did absolutely awful. Thank God it was never shown. It's in the archives of the BBC somewhere hidden away. And then I think Mum and Dad were like, oh, they did awful. They're not going to want to dance. And the next day, myself and Curtis said, well, we want to dance. We love it. And I think from that moment, it's actually kind of what you just said, Curtis. It's that within dance, there's never perfection. There's always more. You can always improve. You can always tighten this up, clean that up, like mess around with this. And I think that's the one thing about the live performance element, that's always going to be unique. It's always going to be different. And I think that's one thing about people going to watch West End shows, to watch pantomimes, because it's not clinical. It's not perfect. It's always going to have an element of like, you watch this, I watch that. We see two different things. And that's the fantastic thing about live entertainment.
How's that for a dancer, though, Curtis? Because if you go out to do a dance performance, it has to be perfect. It has to be the same, surely, doesn't it? So how is that going into panto for you?
I mean, perfect is a very unique word because everyone's perfection is different. So you have to go to whatever your limits and your best ability is. But for me, I just go out there, give 100% every single time. And I like to give, whether it was in my ballroom and Latin dancing or whether it's in panto, I like to give a different performance every single time. So obviously I like to keep the elements and the outline of the show there and my dance routine. But sort of what happens in between is the start's the same, the end's the same. What happens in between sort of, it's its own free will. You know, I like to, you have to, The best thing is feeling the emotion of the audience, and then you can tweak your performance to the audience.
Yeah, but not when you start laughing at them and they're laughing at you, and then you're laughing at them.
But that's what's so good about panto, the fact that if that fourth wall, which doesn't really exist in panto, if you end up accidentally, like, properly laughing on stage, the audience loves it.
The difference is when you're playing Dandini and I'm
They
Prince
break
Charming,
down
I have to
laughing.
stand there and wait for you to come up with the next sentence.
Yeah, but I'm laughing, the audience is laughing.
And
Somebody
I'm not
throws
laughing.
throw
I'm
me a
waiting.
script on, you know. It's all good fun. It's panto.
I mean, that's one of the joys. But there is a certain amount of discipline for panto, which
Yes.
many audiences don't realise. They may think it's all literally thrown together. There's a lot of discipline in there, isn't there?
There is.
Maybe not from you.
No, there really is. Panto, it is a very skilled game. And as we say, you mess around. The start's the same, the end's the same, the middle's a bit of a shambles. It's all done
This
in
is
a
in one
professional...
sentence for Curtis,
No,
by the
it's
way.
all done in a professional way, and you know where to hold or where to accidentally perhaps go wrong, let's say.
The best comedy is the most well-rehearsed comedy. The comedy that looks like, oh my God, he slipped there. Well, no, he slips there every single time, every single show. It's not... It's the person that sees the performance for one show on the night to the person that watches every single show.
He slips every single show, but it wouldn't be in that same spot every single
Well, I need to know where you slip because then I have to jump over you.
Obviously, anybody who comes to see you in Cinderella will expect you to dance, and I think there's going to be a feast of dancing from both of you, which is a joy, and that's the sort of thing that everybody else in the cast might find difficult, but it's second nature to you guys, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant coming into pantomime, especially Cinderella, because I find that the dancing element regarding the ball, the village, kind of people come together. Every opportunity is about movement to music. And usually it's like, oh, we've got a singer that's coming in as a celebrity, but coming in as a dancer, it adds that extra element. Because, I hate to say it, annoyingly, most of the theatre kids are very good singers. They're pretty exceptional. And Evie, in this instance, is also one of them unbelievably good singers. So for me, I'm like, it's fine. Evie, take it away with the singing. I'll do the dancing. We're all good here.
Yeah. I mean, that's another joy, though, Curtis, isn't it? Because panto brings together comedians, dancers, singers, television presenters, whoever. I mean, it brings everybody from the industry together. You meet people you'd never normally work with.
It's one of the biggest things I love about panto is it's family and friends, and it is fun for everybody, no matter how old you are or what you like. My friends are not into theatre. They came and watched one of the panto shows we did last year. They loved it. They were in stitches the whole way through. They did not expect to like it that much. And that is what's so good with it. No matter what you normally like, panto is so different and it brings so many different people together, you will love it. So you've got to come and watch it, guys.
Now, for you boys, you know, at the dance school when you were kids and thinking about performing, your careers have exploded in recent years. Did you ever think you'd be on Dancing with the Stars in Ireland or Strictly Come Dancing or I'm a Celebrity, any of those? Because all those experiences have changed your life and your careers, haven't they?
For me, I always knew I would be on a dancing TV programme. I always knew that. I didn't know I would go on to other TV programmes and explode in a different way. That took me by surprise. Well, I didn't know that or go for that.
I think my clearest way to put it is where there's a will, there's a way. And for me, it was always been like quite a driven person. So if I want to do something, I'll make it happen regarding whatever that may be in life. So when I started dancing, I was like, I need to be number one in the world. So that's what I had to do to train to get to that point because I don't know, maybe OCD or whatever. I have to make that happen. So when it came down to the opportunities with TV, it wasn't in my forefront of my brain. I was like, no, I'll compete all over the world. I'll travel. And then the TV opportunity came along. I said, well, I'll try it. If I'm 20 years old, when I got asked to do Strictly, I was like, well, if I don't like it, I can go back to competing all over the world. It's not the be all and end all. And I think that approach to life is something that's allowed me to kind of change. Like I did 4 fantastic years on Strictly. I said, I want to change. I want to do other things. I want to do other things that make me passionate. I want to try other businesses and other just tours and stuff like that. And if I didn't have that mentality, I feel like I'd be stuck in certain places and probably would have never even made it into Strictly or onto them kind of big TV shows in the first place. So I think it's always good to follow your heart and be passionate and not be quite worried about the constraints of having, I don't know, a normal wage or this or that or whatever that may be that personally holds you within your box. Like break the box, do what makes you happy.
I think with dancing shows as well, though, Strictly was the first, Dancing with the Stars and others followed in America, Ireland, elsewhere. But without those shows, the opportunities wouldn't have been there for you guys, really. So that sort of show and all the other shows like it changed your lives, really.
Yeah, I think if I didn't do Strictly, I would be fundamentally traveling around the world right now in a different country every single weekend, doing shows and competing, from the Asian tour, going around Macau, China, all that sort of world.
That sounds a terrible life.
Sounds a terrible life. To doing LA, New York, Boston. Like, that's the sort of dance world it would be. And every single weekend would be a different country. You'd literally just live out of a suitcase, which is still a crazy life in itself. But I think it's a weird thing when you come down to our jobs or any jobs in something that's a bit more different, a bit more out there. It's not a 9 to 5. It's like, but that's their normal life. Like, that's not normal. Well, wait, if you look at it, that is normal, because that's what they do every single day of their life. And it's quite a weird perception when you say that to somebody normal. Well, this is what we do. Yeah.
But isn't it fabulous that any shows like that showcase dancing on TV, because for a long time it wasn't really given that opportunity, was it?
Strictly Dancing with the Stars, that whole franchise has opened the ballroom and Latin world to the world. It has opened its eyes to so many different people, and it's made it a lot more, I'm going to say trendy. I blimmin' hate that word. I feel like an old man saying that, but it's made it more trendy, more stylish, more accessible for people to do and enjoyable for people to do. It really is.
An appreciation for that it is a full-on sport. It's not just like, it's something.
Yeah.
No, you train 10, 12 hours, your feet bleed, you do it until you can't do it anymore. And I think that Olympic spirit mentality has kind of been shown, and you get more of an appreciation for, it's not, he's a dancer. No, dancing's hard. Like, I think that mentality's changed, and without shows like Strictly, you couldn't have done that. Same with Dancing on Ice. You see the people, you see the falls, you see the injuries. It's hard. Like,
do you fancy doing that? Both of you fancy doing that?
I was just literally say, I'm a professional dancer. I went onto the ice for the first time like a year or two ago. Oh my God, it was hilarious. I couldn't stand up. I was on my arse, excuse me, the whole time. No, I was literally like, I was really confident. I'm going to go really fast, really straight.
Surely
and I was like, I can't take a corner. How do I take a corner?
Surely you could do that.
I was all over the place.
To do that.
Snowboarding, skiing, simple. Dance on ice. It is dangerous.
We were never good at rollerblading or anything like that, so to be fair. I can stand up on the ice. I would love to do the dancing on ice. It could be a great program.
It'd be hilarious.
Yeah, we should do it together, to be fair.
Oh my God.
Not dancing together.
No.
We need a pro.
Well, hang on a minute. You appear to do everything else together. You work together. You live together.
Not anymore.
Have you moved out?
Finally.
I've moved out recently. It's taken a long time, but I've been out for about 3.5 months now, I would say.
How much rent does he still owe?
3 years.
He's never paid a penny.
And you ain't getting a penny.
Listen, did you watch each other on the various shows? Did you, obviously, Dancing on Stars?
Curtis on every single show. I
Love
watch
Island?
him every episode.
Right.
I do his social media. I'm the best. I mean, I'm hot on it. Curtis, what did you do for me?
Right, okay. So I've always been on a TV program whenever you've done a TV program. This is the problem. So whenever you were on Strictly, I was doing Dancing with the Stars, so I was caught up. I would watch the first couple, and then I'd have to catch up on YouTube.
It's called catch up.
When you were doing
the lot, we're in the 21st century. There's opportunities.
When you were in the jungle, in the castle, I was on Celebs Go Dating, so I still couldn't really catch up on that.
I'll let you off on that one.
So in reality, I've never watched your AJ live. Sorry.
And I've got to ask you, because, you've got a great rapport and banter, but do you get on 24/7 or do you argue?
Well, that's why I've moved out.
No, I think we get on really, really well, honestly. We work together so many hours. I think the one thing regarding Curtis going out of the apartment now is good, because it gives a bit more kind of work-life relationship, kind of that sort of mentality, because when you're always anybody 24/7, it's too much. So we just, it clicks because we're very different. We're different. We're just wired different. Everything, mentality, approach to life, and that works great. Because if you have two people that are doing the same thing, it's not going to be funny on stage. No. It's not going to work. It's not going to
drive you mad, though. You've got to have a lot of patience with each other, haven't you?
No, it does drive us mental.
It's easy. I know how to drive a mental.
Yeah.
So listen, quick 3 questions to finish with. AJ, what's your favourite panto title? Either being in or seeing, which panto do you like the best?
Cinderella Leicester to Montfort Hall this year.
Prince Charming's pretty epic, but Peter Pan because of flying around.
Yep.
I just enjoyed flying around.
Oh, yeah, you were good in that too.
Just get to fly. Like,
you did
who
hit-
doesn't want to
I
fly?
think you hit the scene once.
Hey, I wasn't controlling the wires, unfortunately.
And what about you? What's your favourite panto?
You know what?
You'd be a fantastic Captain Hook, actually.
I would love to play Captain Hook, but I was sort of going to say Cinderella. I think Cinderella is one of the most traditional pantos, if you want the truth. I think it is the whole storyline to it, the ball, the element, the love story, that missing slipper. Is he going to find it? Is he not? I mean, obviously we all know what happens, but I think it's such a good story and it's such a heartfelt story. So I think Cinderella.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could play any panto character at all, AJ, who would it be?
I'm going to go for Hook.
No, you can't say that. You just
I am.
said I would.
Because it's a very hard, it's a proper actors. Yeah. It's not a like, I'm a celebrity, I'm going to be AJ flying around Peter Pan, or like, I'm Prince Charming, I can still be AJ. Like, Hook is like, you've got to be Hook.
So you want to be a baddie?
Oh, yeah, I think I want to be a little baddie, because I'm a little baddie. You know what
I think I could play a good baddie. I do. So I was going to say Hook because it was a good role King and I Rat. Would like that. Or King Rat because Dick Whittington was my first panto. So I've seen how that role is played. I have an idea of how I would play that role. So yeah, a villain would be quite an interesting role.
Okay, and to finish with,
or someone like Buttons in this. Someone like
could be a dame. Actually.
A full-on comedy.
You'd be great.
Never thought of that. I would love to do that, actually. Yeah.
I'm deadly serious. You would.
You're about to lose your job. I'm taking it. No, should we swap roles?
Yeah, why not? Well, that'll keep it fresh, won't it? Okay, to finish with, AJ, what's the most important thing about panto, do you think? And we talked about the kids, we talked about the family all going out together, but what's the most important thing about panto?
I think for me, it's always going to be the family element. It brings everybody together, and anything that brings people together is so positive. Yeah, family positivity, you can't beat that.
Curtis?
I'd have to say Christmas time.
Yeah.
And definitely making that audience leave that venue with a smile on their face. That's one of the biggest and most important things. Yeah, giving everyone in the audience a present. I can come out of your bill, AJ.
Roast dinner, who knows? Listen, guys, have a great Christmas in Leicester. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's
going to be epic. Yeah, excited.
And that is it for another episode, I'm afraid. Don't forget to subscribe to the series to catch up with any episodes you've missed so far, and make sure you don't miss out in the future. Also, join me next time when I'll be talking to influencer, YouTuber, BBC radio presenter from Planet Parley, Parley Patel. I'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to the latest edition of Just Imagine, the podcast series from Imagine Theatre. And you can find out more by going to www.imaginetheatre.co.uk.